Hello and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Okay, it's cloudy out there. Well, no, sorry, not so cloudy. 5:34 a.m. Central Time, United States of America, June 23rd, 2018. We have the famous Seagram's VO Canadian blended whiskey, imported from Canada, I believe introduced in 1911. There's somewhere on their website. I can't, the various websites are hard to pin down, but they talk about it. This one is actually bottled in Canada. It's not one of those brought over here and bottled here. Okay. Now they did make some fancy anniversary bottles. This is just a standard brown cylindrical sort of tall bottle, but they made some fancy collectible anniversary bottles. I remember seeing those. You might still be able to find that. They did that for the Seagram 7 Crown also. So I know some people like to buy that kind of stuff. So got that there. And then we're going up against Royal Canadian, introduced in 1934. This one is imported from Canada. It has natural flavors added, and it's bottled in Kentucky. Frankfort, right? Yeah, at Buffalo Trace, Frankfort, Kentucky. Strange bottle. The old Shinley distillery renamed Buffalo Trace after Sazerac purchased it. It's a strange bottle. It's glass. They use plastic now for this size, 375, but it's a strange bottle because it's
very cute. Hey, Jess. Hi.
Sorry about that. It's a strange bottle because it's heavier than normal. It has odd bubbles in it and chips in it, like an old-timey glass bottle from the early 1900s. It even sounds different. So with this wavy, almost hand-blown shape design, it makes you think that really Sazerac, when they bought Buffalo Trace, and I think Shinley, and they later changed it to, it was called, for a while, a good while, it's called Blanton Distillery. But they were kind of in disarray. They said they had only a few employees left. They weren't making any money really, and they had a lot of problems. So Sazerac Gold Ring family, they went in there and kind of cleared things up, cleaned things up, and they might have found literally thousands of these bottles, or they might have just been using these old battles, or maybe they were hand blown in 1992. I don't know. But whatever the case, they probably finished using the back stock of them, the supply, and then they went to their modern PET, the plastic, the unattractive plastic bottles. Another thing, talking about Sazerac, there was an accident yesterday you might have seen. I got to post that in Alcohol Eggs. One of their barrel houses collapsed, or part of the barrel house collapsed. They showed it on some photos on the news, WWL TV news. Just the whole thing came down, whole piece of it. The other part was on the other side, that brick wall was still standing. And the barrels tumbled everywhere. And they said, because that was the thing on the news last night. We have bad news for you bourbon fans. And I was thinking, what happened? And they said they think most of the barrels did not break open or get really damaged. They just rolled around. So they think they can slowly pick all that trash up, debris, and get most of the barrels intact and put them in a different house. They were worried that some of the bourbon leaked out and Might have run into the river or something. I don't know. Bad problem for Barton Distilling at Bardstown, Kentucky. Bad for Sazerac because now they got to figure out what caused the collapse, right? It's like this thing should not fall. It's an enormous amount of weight. Okay. They're both gold, same color. Let me sip a little bit this down. Try to make it even. Sometimes the weight, even a little bit, it'll give it away when I'm holding the glasses. That little bit of weight. It seems strange that it would do that, but it does. So why did the barrel house fall, right? And it was strange because I was on a tour there last year. I want to check their website and see if they're giving tours. They might say, you know, tours of this distillery are suspended indefinitely, you know, something like that. Be curious to see what they say. But I was in the barrel house, 22,000 barrel house. She said, we have many, many, many of these, the tour guide. Our property is huge, but she said we don't take everybody all around to that. There is a tour where they drive you around to different parts of it, but they weren't offering that tour. They're all free tours, but so theoretically they have that tour. I went on what they call it the hard hat tour. No, not that tour, but it's similar to that because they brought us all into the operations area. But we were in the barrel house and they were showing us, see this plumb line? And it was right there, dead on the circle. She said, oh, we have to check that, I guess, a few times a day. And she said if they notice that it's not plumb anymore, if it's off one way or the other, they have to immediately run out the house because that means it's shifting and it's going to, you know, it's starting to lean. And once it starts, you know, the momentum, that gravity, the weight is just going to be almost impossible to stop. So they got to make sure it's plumb. And I don't know, I'm sure they'll investigate what happened. Why did it fall? This is not good. These huge wooden buildings, you cannot have this happening. So I'm afraid some heads are going to roll. The barrels rolled, now the heads will roll. Okay, a lot of careers going in behind that collapse, I guess. Not laughing about it, but it's pretty serious. You can't have that happen. Okay. And I remember being in there, and after she told me that, I was thinking, yeah, it does make me feel kind of unsafe the way these, you know, you have no chance, you know. Okay. Anyway, fascinating tour. You can smell all that bourbon and brandy kind of leaking out different parts of the barrels. The room's real moldy, musty. No air conditioning, no heat. They wanted to get hot in there. They said it helps cure the bourbon. Get hot, hot, hot. Okay, let's go. I don't think this will be too easy because these two Canadian blended whiskeys are similar in that they're more of the American style. They are sort of let me say how you say it. They're sort of low profile in the flavor, or you want to say dull, bland, boring. They're kind of like that. They're sort of just like neutral, sort of neutral. Yeah. And they're used for blending, mixing, making mixed drinks, you know, cocktails, highballs. So if you're looking for exotic, bountiful flavors, these aren't going to really have that. They're similar to like Canadian Mist, which people will say, oh, that's so dull. I did review it. I did taste it another time, and I thought, it's not as dull as I was claiming, but it's not too luxurious in the flavor either. But Canadian Mist, this one, the VO, and the Royal Canadian are really designed for mixed drinks, which I don't make or enjoy. But anyway, on with the taste challenge. I think it's going to be a real challenge because they're just going to have that American blended whiskey thing going, right? Like the corn liquor, corn whiskey smell, corn distillate, just generalized alcohol smell with a little wood, and a little maybe vanilla, and the flavor generally associated with whiskey as a government describes it. But overall, they'll be kind of bland and hard to tell apart from one from the other. So this one has that smell, that corn distillate smell. Little wood though, a little dried flowers, a little maybe vanilla, I don't know. The corn distillate is just before it goes in the barrel. And even before it's cut, that's just the pure moonshine. Then they cut it with water to bring it down to 80 proof, and then they'll start to age it. Now, if they don't age it, they'll just usually put it right there in with some bourbon and make blended whiskey. Or like the guy said at the Heaven Hill tour, I watched that online, the whiskey.com, they did a tour there, and he said, well, they don't always come out right. Like the whiskeys sometimes will be a little off, you know, like various barrels, they didn't get enough heat or they got too much heat, but probably more like not enough heat or whatever. And the German interviewer was like, well, what do you do with all the, you know, the imperfect whiskey? And the guy laughed. We make blended. We use that for our blended whiskey. Ha ha ha. And then he wanted to go on to something else. So I said, you see, they probably make a lot of money off that. They don't waste it. They don't throw it out. Now with this kind of stuff here, VO, they're not using reject whiskey to make a blended Canadian whiskey. They're just designing it that way. They're making it this way on purpose. Okay. If this is VO. Yeah, same thing. The corn distillate, the burn, but the sweetness, a little sweet sugar, a little honeysuckle, nectar, you know what I mean? A little like wine, like plum wine or sherry, maybe dry sherry. Or some light brandy, not really similar to the Hartley that I was drinking last night during that, after I did the beer for the Tyler Mansell's Goza examination. I was drinking that stuff, you know, while we were talking and kind of we were being a little silly and stuff. And I said, oh, it's starting to affect me, you know. But I was saying, while I was thinking all those thoughts, I was thinking, this stuff is so oddly peppery. It's like, with all that kind of commotion going on and silly stuff and everything, but I was still thinking through all that, I'm thinking to myself, where does this pepperiness come from? Why would it have a peppery note? I'm not going to be on the air saying Hartley brandy is good, you should try it. No. I'm saying Hartley brandy is bizarre and it's strange. That's why you should try it. I'm not saying you're going to like it. But you're probably going to say, well, this is an odd item. Okay, back to this. With these, you're not going to say that. No, I don't think anybody's going to drink these and say, oh, they're so strange. They might usually they might say it's so nondescript, it's so dull. So the aroma, okay, I think I know. Blake Alfred, I am the only one here. Well, there's 4 watching, so you're the only one commenting so far. Okay, I think I know what is what already, which is which already. I think this is the Seagram's VO. Nice alcohol legs. Same with this one. This one's a little more sloppy drippy. This one's a little more dedicated drippy. I think this is Seagram's VO because I'm getting more wood on it now. You'll notice that with the 7 Crown, you get a lot more wood character than you do with the typical blended whiskeys. This one over here, you're getting more corn muffin. Okay. Corn muffin, cornbread type thing. Yeah, it's really coming through like yellow corn grits. Oh, it's really something. Oh, there could be some wood, but it is so minimal. So I'm already going to make a preliminary guess. I think this is Royal Canadian. It has that Sazerac style. And this is the VO, but I don't. La Boum Jamais says, laugh out loud. Ha 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 ha. You demanded it, and I did it. Now, it was not a real laugh, but it was Still a laugh, contrived laugh. Okay, taste. Yeah. Yeah, wood. There is wood. I mean, it's the Seagrams do have wood thing going. They must age them a pretty good while, or a good while, relative to other blended whiskeys. That's the calling card, I think, on it. You get used to these if you keep sipping them. You think you wouldn't, but you do. You get used to what they are. I don't say you might. I'm not saying you're gonna start liking them. You may never like it, but you'll get used to the flavor. Yeah. Uh-huh. Taste over here now. I think I'm late. What are you doing? When did you start? Oh, I'm doing a whiskey taste challenge. I started at like 5:34, 16 minutes ago. Okay. I think this one over here is lighter bodied even, which is a bit peculiar. Yeah. This one over here, my left, you're right. It has a heavier body, which is bizarre, but oh so true. Now, taste over here. Mm. All right. In the flavor, it's not as heavy on the corn muffin. Now, you get some honey, the nectar, the chewing wax. Remember the old chewing wax with the lips? Still made apparently, but no one does mess with that stuff anymore. Maybe old people, 86 years old. I used to always buy the chewing wax when I was a little kid. See, this one's a little more exotic than I had thought it would be, and that's making me think Sazerac, because Sazerac puts out some weird stuff, man. I think that's why Pappy Van Winkle might be so interesting for people, and they run behind it because it's just strange. Sazerac they just buy strange stuff, like everything. They're just an eccentric, everything is weird with them, and I'm not saying bad. No, it's just odd or abnormal. Same thing. Even that Wheatley vodka they let me try at the distillery last year. I said, okay, vodka tastes different. Even those strange gins they make, like Miles, they rebranded Miles, kind of making it look like a Tanqueray bottle. I've never had Miles gin, but I've had the Sazerac's Taka gin, the Mims. And but I mean, Heaven Hills gin was weird too. That Clubhouse tasted like lemon lime gin. It was very bizarre. Good though. Good and bad, because when you drink it, you start saying, "Oh yeah, okay, what happened? What happened? What'd you say on the internet? What's the problem?" And you're like, "Whoa, this stuff is nasty. It makes you nasty." Okay. I'm drinking. If are you drinking, Jimmy? I'm drinking some Ezra Brooks and Co. Oh, Ezra. Ezra Brooks. Yeah, Ezra Brooks. Very common around here. Very common, very common, very common. Okay. Whoa. I think, which one's better first before I give the designation? It's like a tie. It's sort of like a preference thing. In that case, what do you do when it's a tie? You just shop price. I mean, that's what I would do. I'd say, well, I'm not paying $16 for Seagram's VO when I could get Royal Canadian for 10. But I don't ever see Royal Canadian around here. I saw it 2 bottles left on the shelf in Marrero, Louisiana on Highway 18, Louisiana Highway 18. I don't expect to ever see it again. No. So I thought this was Seagram's. Let's see. I think it's hey yeah 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 yeah. It's hey y'all, go do something else. You don't want to watch this video. This is Seagram's. I just spent all this time talking about the house styles, right? You might be watching and saying, looks like you need a lot more practice. Yeah, looks like it. Weird because I didn't realize it was 890 proof till I got home, not 80. Ezra Brooks. Yeah, that's right. It's a higher proof bourbon. Right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Laugh out loud. Blake says too early. Well, it's not too early for me because I got up at 3:10. I got out of bed exactly 3:10 a.m. So it's nothing. And then I ate a piece of Church's spicy fried chicken for breakfast. The big thigh. They give huge pieces of chicken at Church's. I don't know if they use chicken. I think they use geese. That's going to come out as like a scandal, you know. Church's exposed for using geese instead of chicken. People wondered why the pieces were so big. Sorry I missed this. I'll listen to this later. Have a good day, Jay. Okay, you too, Craig. I got to watch the rest of the baseball highlights after this and go after this, go for a walk. Baseball highlights. I watched all the American League and then the interleague game, but I got to watch the National League highlights. Yep. National League. Oh, yeah. Well, it just goes to show you think you know, but you don't know, and you'll never know. Well, you might know if you practice. So people are saying, that last little sip was pretty good. Okay. I guess I was too hard on Seagram's VO. It does have some redeeming qualities, as evidenced by that last sip. But you might say, hell, you're just using this as an excuse to drink. You want to drink whiskey every day, and not to mention brandy and gin. You just want to do that every day. So you trying to present like, oh, this scientific approach. I have to taste them. It's a taste challenge. It's an art. It's an exploration of taste. Preferences and variances, and you're using that as a cover for just drinking every morning. You could say that because literally I am consuming it, but you don't need to judge people. Why do you want to judge the people? No, I just it's science. People don't ever think that it's anything other than absolute science, and I think that's the way we need to approach it. And Blake says, why churches taste so good? Oh, well, you see, Mr. Church died. I guess he took that secret with him. He started in 1952 in San Antonio, Texas. So I don't know why it tastes so good. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they do a bad job, but usually they're pretty consistent, right? Like, that's Donald Trump's theory. He says, I eat at chain restaurants like McDonald's because they're more consistent and their cleanliness level is higher. This is the president of the United States. I don't trust mom and pop restaurants because you never know about their cleanliness. I say, well, he might be right. I don't know. He just thinks that McDonald's cleaner. on average than some of these questionable joints. I remember reading the Louisiana Department of Health report. They put that online. Other states probably do too. Every restaurant in the state, they've got the inspection reports. They got places like Commander's Palace, $100 a person. You eat there, it's $100 a person. Go there for dinner at night, and that's not including tax or tip. They had like major violations, evidence of rodents, and I'm like, what? I think that's what it said. Some bad things, you know. And I was like, well, you see, that's Donald Trump. See. Oh, he likes it because it's cheap. It is cheap. I don't know. I have no opinion about fancy restaurants or mom and pop restaurants versus chain restaurants. That I'm just saying what Donald Trump theorizes. That is not my theory personally. And anyway, you can look up the Louisiana Department of Health restaurant inspection reports on your own. You don't have to listen to me. Thanks for watching this video production. Now it's off to watch the news because the news is starting, so I got to go. KFC is expensive for me. I don't want to pay. Oh, yeah. They went out of business in this town. People weren't paying those prices. Thank you.